Hi everyone, and welcome to the Practice Growth with Pras podcast. I'm your host, Pras Murthy, CFO and co-founder at Dr. Multimedia, where for the last 10 years I've been helping practices grow all across the country. We started this podcast so we could dive deeper into the issues around practice growth, from online marketing to the way you run your business. We know doctors are busy people and you don't have a lot of time to study these kinds of topics, so we're hoping this audio podcast makes it really easy to stay up to date with what's going around the country. We'll be interviewing top doctors, successful practice managers, and other experts in the field. Without further ado, let's get started. So when it comes to social media content, everybody knows that more is better, right? I'm not the only one telling you that you've got to post 3 to 4 pieces of content a week, and you need to be on multiple channels, and you need to have videos, and you need to have blogs, and you need to have YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram. It's really easy to get overwhelmed with all the different things out there that require your attention. And more than ever, we talked about this before, it's a multi-channel world where you can't just stick to one thing. You can't just email your patients and grow your practice. You can't just do Facebook. You can't just have a website. So you really do have to engage people in a lot of different channels online because that's where people are. They're doing multiple different things on their phone, on their computers, and you want to engage them in every way that you can. In every channel that you pursue, you're going to reach a few more people. But the challenge is, well, how do you keep coming up with useful content in all of those channels and keeping it fresh and keeping it interesting where you're not just repeating yourself over and over again? But today we're actually going to dive into 5 different ideas for posts that are meant to get you the most engagement. And whether you know it yet or not, likes and shares are kind of what everyone has been going after the last couple years, but more and more the importance of likes and shares are going to drop and the value of comments is going to increase. So devising posts that are going to get the most comments moving forward is what's going to be kind of the future of social media engagement. And the why is kind of obvious, right? It's really easy to like. If you're on Instagram, you're flipping through, you're double tapping away. That's not meaningful engagement anymore. On Facebook, you hit the thumbs up button and you like it, you move on. It's great, it's better than nothing, but it's not actual engagement. Whereas it takes a lot more time and energy to actually leave a comment and to have conversations back and forth, and you'll notice that the posts and the content that are getting the most comments will actually end up getting the most views and the most likes and the most shares just as a result. So what are some ideas for social media posts that are going to get you the most comments? One idea for an engaging social media post are birthdays. Staff birthdays, patient birthdays. Anytime you have a birthday, 1, it's a reason to celebrate, and 2, it's a really great way to get comments because who doesn't want to wish someone else a happy birthday, right? Yes, you'll get likes and shares, but you'll often get a lot of people hopping on the post and saying, "Happy birthday, Susie," or "Happy birthday, Dr. Smith." So it's a fantastic way. Also, extremely predictable. You already know when everybody's birthdays are going to be. So make a list of all the birthdays in your practice. You probably already do this internally. And now prepare in advance. Know when you're going to post. Have that person be ready on that day. Or if they're going to be out for their birthday, maybe snap a picture before they go. And wish your staff and your doctors happy birthdays on their day. Everyone kind of does this last minute, but you can do a really good job of it. You can have them be prepared. You can have some nice photos. You can have the staff bring in cookies or cake or ice cream or balloons, whatever the case is going to be, and you can spread the word. So really, really easy. And if you want to go one level up from there, keeping your HIPAA compliance, of course, you can celebrate your patient's birthday. So when someone comes in, if they're coming in on their birthday or you happen to know when one of your top clients' birthdays is and you have permission, obviously wish them a happy birthday. Birthdays are just kind of one of those feel-good moments that everyone loves to celebrate. No matter how well you know someone, it's always nice to wish them a happy birthday. Another great idea for social media posts are going to be fundraisers. There's always something going on, whether it's in your community, in your practice, whether a staff member is raising money for a good cause, whether a patient is raising money for a good cause, whether the son or daughter of one of your staff members or patients is raising money for a good cause. There's always fundraisers and charity work going on. So what better way to get social media engagement than to promote some of those causes and take place? A lot of practices already do this. They do a 5K run for a good cause. They raise money. They sell candy bars, whatever it is. You buy things from the local school or charity. It's happening all around you. So now take it to social media to expand your reach. Because of course, if you're already doing these, why wouldn't you want to have a better impact than you would than just keeping it within the practice? So sharing, fundraisers, donations, good causes, and make it really tangible. Don't just say, hey, support the American Red Cross, but whether there's a natural disaster in your area and you're raising money for that, highlight what it is that the people in your practice are doing. It's always going to get more engagement when there's real people involved instead of just a general idea or concept. So what is your receptionist doing? What is the daughter of your tech doing? And when it's personable like that and the cause means something to the people involved, they're going to be much more excited to share and interact and comment and engage with your posts. So make it relevant to your community. If let's say you're an orthodontist and you have a kid come in and let's say she's a Girl Scout and she's selling cookies, right? The most classic example that actually is supposed to be for a good cause. Now imagine making a large purchase or donation, capturing that moment for social media, and then encouraging other people to do the same. And when you're coming up with the copy of the post, remember that you want to elicit comments. So don't just toot your own horn, but ask a question or say, hey, how many other people bought Girl Scout cookies? Or how many of you out there have donated to this charity? Or tell us your favorite relief fund for whatever it may be going on at the time. So fundraisers and charities, use those to your advantage. Create content and give them more exposure. Another great idea for social media content are interesting cases or success stories. So obviously depending on your form of medicine, but if you're a veterinarian, these basically write themselves every day where a cute kitten or puppy come in the doors or a really exotic case. But whether it's just something that's really interesting or something that was extremely successful, tell the story. People love stories online, right? It's one thing just to see like a before and after picture, but if you find out a little bit about the person, you find out, how meaningful it was or how it changed their life, everyone can relate to that and everyone wants to wish them well. So, for example, I think Crossroads Dental out in Longmont, Colorado, they have a really great testimonial on their website about someone who came to them and was treated for migraines, as a dentist, but were treated for migraines, were able to help them control their migraines, completely changed their life, right? They're a better mother, better employee, their health is so much better, they just generally enjoy life at a higher level. Or another one of their testimonials, someone whose smile was completely transformed, it talks about how he smiles and laughs now when he didn't used to before. So those kind of human elements to a medical case, lots of doctors want to show off their successful medical case, and they have these bloody and gory pictures or this really horrible picture of a tooth, and then now look at it. Not always what people want to see. In fact, a lot of times people are grossed out by that stuff. But what you want to do is you want to tell the story of the interesting case or the success story and relay it and make it human and personable. And that usually will get tremendous amount of engagement, and especially more than anything, a lot of comments, because people want to wish that person well. They're so proud of them. Way to go. If you're an orthodontist and you're celebrating when your patient's braces come off, that's an amazing moment, right? So capturing on that human moment of success, of achievement, of pain relief, whatever it is that you specialize in, and the way that you change people's lives, capturing that, posting that on social media when it happens, will get all kinds of goodwill and comments out there. Another idea for engaging social media content is one that almost everyone has been doing all along. So it's not going to sound like a new idea, but it's holidays. So yes, we already all have our Christmas posts, our New Year's posts, our Memorial Day posts, Thanksgiving. But so many practices do it wrong. They just post a stock photo or wish people well, and that doesn't get any engagement, right? And when it is Thanksgiving and you're scrolling down your social media feed, it is cluttered with posts from every business and every person. What's going to make you stop and even notice, let alone what's going to make you stop and comment? That's really your goal. So holidays are nice because they're already built into the calendar. You don't have to put much thought into when there are, how many there are. They're not going to take you by surprise. But if you plan this well, and you post well, and you come up with a good strategy, you can get a ton of engagement off of holidays. So, for example, let's just take, Thanksgiving. So a dentist's office could post Happy Thanksgiving, or they could maybe have a video from inside the practice of people wishing everybody, obviously the generic things are talking about what they're thankful for. Or you could take a medical approach and break down what foods are good or bad for your teeth, that holiday. But the point is, make sure that you're engaging your patients and your clients. And one great way to do that is with a question, right? So what was your favorite dish this Thanksgiving? Or what's your favorite Thanksgiving story? Or whatever holiday it is, ask questions. Engage with people about the holiday. It's already a given that everyone wants to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Go one step further, and your Christmas posts are going to be more engaging than everybody else's. So when you incorporate questions, when you incorporate your staff, when you make it more personable, you notice I said stock photo earlier, but I'm talking about having the staff Christmas photo, or if it's Memorial Day, having an actual story from within your practice about someone whose family member, served in the military. Those kinds of things will get you engagement, and then make sure that you're either posting questions or you're soliciting comments so that you don't just get lost in the sea of other holiday posts. But because everyone's doing it, it's actually really easy to stand out above the crowd and have the best holiday posts and engage and incorporate around that. And remember, it doesn't just have to be the day, especially on the major holidays. You can have content before, you can have content after, but the holidays will generate really good content for you. And sharing stories and asking people to share their stories will get you a lot of those comments. And another really great and really simple way to get social media engagement is to share life within the practice. So you guys know all the funny, hilarious, happy, sad things that go on in a medical practice on a daily or a weekly basis. Believe it or not, most of the outside world has no idea. To the regular person, doctors are these kind of stiff and rigid medical professionals. They're treating cases. There's no one likes going to the dentist, for example. People are afraid of being in pain. And most other doctors, veterinarians, it can be scary to take your pet in. So despite what you guys know goes on in a medical practice every day, a lot of people are really fearful or tentative about going to see a doctor. And when you bring the life in a practice, alive through social media, you're going to maybe not get the most engagement initially, but you're going to get a lot of attention, and people are really going to warm up, and it'll help humanize your practice. And that will change people's perception, and it will make a difference, believe it or not. I follow doctors all across the country on my social media, and when I'm scrolling through, you can think about what makes me stop, and it usually is something in the walls of the practice going really well, or really fun, or really interesting, or they're doing a parody video, or they're having a lot of fun. That makes me stop and say, hey, what are these guys doing that's so much fun? What's going on? And then, again, if you're going after comments, now you want to tailor it towards your patient base and say, okay, what is it that my community cares about? What is it that's important in our medical profession, or at my town, or the local sports team, or whatever it is that's going on, right? So share the life within the practice, whatever is it that's going on. Tell the stories. Who's the jokester in the practice? Who's the practice mom? What are the doctor's personalities? Help those come to life through social media. And the reason that this is so simple is you don't have to do anything different than what you're already doing. You guys already operate as a family and as a practice every day. You just need to start capturing it and realizing that it actually might be useful content to you, even though to you it's just everyday occurrences, right? So maybe the doctor has some corny jokes that they tell all the time. Maybe there's something that you do for new patients when they walk in the door. Maybe there's something you do for children when they come to visit. Start sharing that and the actual personal dynamics of the practice. It's going to sound a little corny, but if you remember Grey's Anatomy, and when that TV show came out, and kind of what it did for nursing and the perception of nursing, was it opened up this whole world, obviously fictional, but of what goes on for doctors and nurses and in a hospital, and the dynamics and the real lives involved. And so that's what I really mean, is bring real life into your medical practice and show off that these are real people, members of the community with families, doing things every day, and start to make that and share that with your patients. You probably already share it with your patients when they walk in. So once every 6 months or once a year, you have that friendly conversation and you update each other on your life. Start sharing it with your patient base as a whole all the time. And you'll be shocked at how many people will come in and comment on what they saw and hopefully, start commenting online. But that, of course, you can do with great copy, which we'll get into another day. So again, 5 great ideas for social media content that's going to engage your clients and your patients and get them to comment back. The first was staff birthdays. The second was interesting cases and success stories, fundraisers, holidays, and then of course bringing alive the life within the practice and sharing real life stories of just what you and your staff are up to, and always going after getting people to comment. Ask questions, ask them to share their experience. You'll be shocked at the result. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Practice Growth with Pras. I'm your host, Pras Murthy, and if you have any questions or comments, please visit us at drmultimedia.com. Also, be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're constantly sharing new content as part of our mission to take online marketing topics and make them relevant to your practice. And if you like what you heard, please tell a friend and leave us a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. Thanks so much for listening, and we can't wait to do it again.